Sweetheart, stop it! That is my pet, Lily. You are not allowed to do any harm to that snake. Try to calm down. Lily will be living in this house with us, so you have to get used to it. She is the mistress of this house. In a small and rough part of the city, two young girls, Ada and Titi, lived in a tiny wooden room covered with old tarpaulin. The area was dirty, noisy, and crowded. It is where a layman would call ghetto. Life in the city was nothing like what Ada had imagined. When she decided to leave her village at just 16 years old, Ada was beautiful and full of dreams, but poverty had forced her to drop out of school. One evening in her village, as her family shared their dinner, she told her father about her plans. "Papa, I want to go to the city and find work," Ada said boldly. Her father was shocked. "Ada, you are just a small girl. What do you know about city life? It is not as easy as you think." "But Papa, my friends are doing well for themselves. I can't just stay here doing nothing," Ada replied. Papa sighed deeply. "Ada, not everything that looks shiny is real gold. You don't know what those people are doing to get money. Stay here where it is safe. Life in the city is dangerous, especially for a young girl like you. You are just 16 years old." But Ada had already made up her mind. Early morning, without telling anyone, not even her parents, she packed her belongings and sneaked out of the house and left for the city. When she arrived, things were harder than she expected. She moved in with her friend Titi, who had been in the city for a while. They shared a small dirty room in a crowded slum and had to pay rent every month. One evening, after going hungry all day, Titi said to Ada, "Babe, we have to hustle, oh. Nobody will give us free food. We have to use what we have to get what we want." And Ada asked her, looking confused, "What kind of hustle?" "We will enter the streets. You know, hook up. That is exactly what we are going to do. We have to use our body to get what we want." Ada didn't fully understand, but her hunger made her desperate. That night, Titi dressed her up in a tight, flashy clothes and took her to a busy road. They waited on that street until a car stopped. A man rolled down his window. "Hello, beautiful ladies. Hop in," he said with a smile. Once they were inside, the man asked, "How much for both of you for the whole night?" 30,000 naira, Oga. We are fresh and young," Titi said confidently. The man agreed and drove them to a hotel where he checked them in. As they got inside, Titi sensed that the atmosphere was no longer friendly. The man was no longer nice. He had another plan. He said to them, "Undress yourselves right now. You think I will pick you up from the road just to sleep with dirty girls like you, when I have other things to do with my time? For your information, you are not here to collect 30,000. Instead, I am here to collect your heart. That is what my Baba asked me to bring this night, and I must get it." And then it dawned on the girls that they had fallen into the hands of a ritualist. Ada started screaming, "Oh no, my father warned me. What is happening?" And she started shouting at the top of her voice. The man tried to cover her mouth to stop shouting, but Ada kept on screaming loudly, which attracted the attention of other people in the hotel. Immediately, people ran into the room, and the two girls used that opportunity to run out of the hotel room. They ran as fast as they could on the streets of the town. As they ran far away enough, Ada stopped and said, "Titi, I don't want this life. This isn't the city life I dreamed of." Titi nodded silently, tears streaming down her face, and she said to Ada, "God saved us. We would have been used for ritual. But then we still have to keep hustling, no? Else, Ada, how are we going to eat?" The next day, the girls decided to continue their hustle. They said to themselves in confidence, "We are lucky today doesn't mean we can't be lucky next time. We just have to be more careful." They continued hustling on the streets, doing hookup, meeting up with different men, until one night, Ada came across a handsome young man who had picked her up for the night. When Ada got to the hotel room with this man, she realized how rich he was. Instead of the man to get down to business that brought them to the room, he proposed marriage to Ada just like that. And Ada was like, "You just want to marry me like that? You don't even know nothing about me." And the man said, "Young lady, you don't have to worry. I have enough money that could change your entire family story." And immediately Ada heard that, she agreed to marry the man without knowing the kind of person he is. The next day, they set out to Ada's village to see her parents. Upon arrival, Ada's father noticed something strange about this man, and he said to his dear daughter, "Ada, are you sure you want to marry this man? How well do you know him? You are still very young. In my opinion, don't marry him yet." And Ada snapped out in anger, "Papa, what exactly do you want from me? When I was about leaving the village, you asked me not to. I came back home with a husband. You are still complaining. You don't want your daughter to get married? This man's money is enough to change our lives forever. I'm marrying this man, Papa, and that is it." Despite all Ada's father said to her, she refused to listen, and the old man had no other choice than to let his daughter marry the man. They had a small, minimal wedding, and Ada followed her dear husband to the city. The city home was a mansion full of luxury. Ada said, "Oh, finally I have arrived. So this is where Papa didn't want me to come." Can you imagine? Ada started living a life of luxury, full of riches and wealth. She sent money to her father, but unfortunately, the father refused to collect the money. According to him, there was something wrong about this husband Ada got married to, and he didn't want to involve himself in anything that is connected to the husband. And Ada heard the news and said to herself, "Poor man, I can see you are used to poverty. Look at you. I'm trying to help this old man and he's saying there's something wrong with my husband. Please, take a look at this luxurious mansion. Does it look like anything is wrong with it?" Everything seemed perfect in Ada's home until one day, she walked into a room and saw a very big snake. Ada was horrified to find the snake slithering across the room. In panic, she ran quickly to the kitchen, grabbed a knife and attempted to kill the creature. However, her husband stopped her immediately. "Sweetheart, stop it! That is my pet, Lily. You are not allowed to do any harm to that snake. Try to calm down. Lily will be living in this house with us, so you have to get used to it." Ada, still in shock, couldn't believe it. And the husband explained that Lily had been with him since he has been in that house. He found Lily by the side of the road on his way to the office, and from that moment on, he considered the snake a gift and has been taking care of it. Despite her discomforts, Ada reluctantly agreed to stay in the house with Lily the snake, but only if the snake remained in its cage at all times. However, Ada's husband had a different approach. He said to his wife, "No, I'm going to let Lily roam around the house freely. She is the mistress of this house. Forget that she's a snake. She's just a pet. She won't harm you." Ada thought of running away, leaving the marriage, but she thought of the poverty she would go back to in the village, and she decided to stay in that marriage as long as Lily the snake never gets close to her. She was willing to stay. As the days went by, Ada had already concluded that she was going to stay in that house despite the huge snake her husband kept in the house. To make matters worse, her husband valued the snake's presence than hers. Sometimes, the husband sleeps in the room where the snake stays, and locks himself up in that room, never allowing Ada to come close. And this made Ada become more and more uneasy. Over the months, their relationship seemed strained. Ada continued to dot on Lily. Sometimes, the snake, Lily, will start behaving like it is Ada's rival in the house. She will crawl and crawl on top of the bed, lying on their matrimonial bed and spreading itself very hugely, as if it's trying to dominate the bed. Ada walked in and saw this one day and shouted, and the snake watched her as if it understood more than it should and would just hiss, trying to threaten Ada. But still, Ada remained in that luxurious mansion, all because of the wealth and riches she enjoyed. Life became very unbearable for her at a point, and Ada decided to call her friend Titi to explain everything to her. To her greatest surprise, Titi asked her to remain there. Ada, do you want to come back to the slums? You better remain there. Oh. Even if it is 5 snakes, stay there. As far as they will not hurt you. Money is all that matters. And Ada listened to her friend Titi and remained in that marriage. As the years went by, to make matters worse, Ada has been trying so hard to have children. But despite visiting various fertility specialists, nothing seemed to be working. She never got pregnant, and the husband seems to be unbothered. With each passing month, Ada's frustration grew, and she couldn't help but wonder if Lily was somehow to be blamed. Some days, she even began to entertain a disturbing thought. Maybe the snake was connected to something darker, something otherworldly. One afternoon, Ada left home for the market. As she returned home later, she noticed a strange silence in the house. She immediately checked upstairs to check where the snake was, but the door was wide open, and panic set in. She wondered where the snake had gone to. She crept through the house, moving carefully towards her bedroom. As she slowly opened the door, her heart sank. There, in the bathroom, was the snake and her husband. The snake was wrapped around her husband, and she was surprised. What happened? She asked, pretending like she hasn't seen anything. Her husband avoided her gaze. I was just playing with Lily the snake. She was bored. I'm going to take a bath now, he said. Something about his response didn't sit right with Ada. She quickly ran out of the room to take a fresh breath. Then, later that day, Ada returned back into the room with a resolve to end it all. She sneaked into the house, determined to find and kill the snake before her husband would stop her. She said to herself, enough is enough. How can a snake be sharing my husband with me? No, this is not what I bargained for. But as she entered the room, she noticed that it was completely quiet. She searched the house, but there was no sign of either her husband or Lily the snake. Then she heard voices coming from the bathroom. Ada tiptoed closer, holding her breath. As she peered through a crack in the door, she saw something that made her blood run cold. Her husband was in the bathroom, not alone, but with a strange woman. They were laughing, and the situation felt wrong. Ada shouted immediately, "Honey, I am home," pretending like she hadn't seen anything, because she was afraid of what might happen. And then Lily the snake slithered past her from the bathroom, and her husband followed out immediately. And she was stunned. "I thought I just saw a woman in the bathroom with you. How come Lily is still crawling out of the bathroom? Could Lily be the strange woman I saw my husband with in the bathroom?" And Ada fled in anger. She tried to attack her husband, and then she shouted at Lily the snake, "You this snake, enough is enough. You have taken over my husband. Today, I'm going to kill you." And before you know it, the snake transformed into a huge lady, half snake half woman, and she started shouting at Ada. Ada, I have been tolerating you ever since you came into this house. I am the mistress of this home. I am the godmother of the 7 rivers, and your husband is married to me. Can't you see that I've been living in my husband's house? You tried to intrude, and I didn't say anything to you. I've been tolerating you. It is you that will die today because you've overstayed your welcome in my husband's house. Ada was shocked. She screamed in fear and panic. The half woman, half snake tried to attack Ada, but somehow her husband managed to stop her. Lily, my darling, he said to her, please just let her go. Let's tolerate her one more time. If she tries to come between our love again, we will do the normal thing we are supposed to do, just like we've been doing to the other ladies. And it dawned on Ada that she has actually been in a ritualist's home. And Lily responded, okay, my darling husband, would have used her for the sacrifice in the night, just like we've been doing to other women. Let's just say she's lucky. Ada thanked them and ran as fast as she could. She ran out of the house without taking a pin, all to save her life first. And she left the home and never turned back again. She ran back to the village to meet her dear father. Papa, I'm sorry. You were right. I should have listened to you. That man is a ritualist. He's married to a snake, a godmother of the 7 rivers, and they almost used me. They almost killed me, Papa. I am sorry for not listening to you. And the father welcomed Ada with open arms and said to her, my daughter, I can never deceive you. I only want the best for you. If only you had listened, your life wouldn't be like this. Now you've lost everything. But I forgive you. You can start life all over again. I will work hard in the farm and provide money for you to go back to school. And Ada wept and begged her parents, and they forgave her. And she started her life all over again, going to school and working towards becoming a better person. Titi, on the other hand, didn't listen to Ada when she told her to change her lifestyle and become a better person. She continued her hookup business. Unfortunately, she ran into the hands of ritualists who used her for money ritual, and that was how Titi's life ended. The moral of this story is this. We should try to listen to the elderly ones, because what an elder sees while sitting down, a child cannot see even though she or he is climbing an iroko tree. Secondly, it is better to stay safe and work honestly, even if it takes longer to succeed. And then, trust is the foundation of any relationship. When suspicion creeps in, it's crucial to confront it directly and openly. Secrets, no matter how small, can erode trust over time. Sometimes, what seems like an innocuous issue, such as a pet or an odd behavior, can mask something more dangerous. Pay attention to the warning signs and don't ignore your gut feelings. In toxic or manipulative situations, it's important to recognize when it is time to walk away. Your mental and emotional health should always come first, even if it means leaving someone you love behind. And lastly, everyone has personal boundaries, and respecting them is essential. Ignoring or dismissing a partner's discomfort can lead to conflict and deeper issues. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope you learned a lesson. My name is Onyi of Onyi Stories and Folktales. And please, if you haven't subscribed, kindly click on the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications so when I post more interesting and insightful stories, you'll be the first to get them. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you and I do not take your support for granted. Thank you so much. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.